Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Dog Companion. Today we're going to talk about how to find the right breeder for you.
Yeah, I'm sure you get a lot of questions, Jay. People calling you, asking questions, and maybe making sure that we're the right fit for them. And it's not just about us here at Mountain Dog Companion. This is a generic video for you, whether you're in Alaska, Ukraine, right here in Holmes County. But again, Jay, you get a lot of questions. What would you say is one of the number one concerns for a person to make sure they find the right breeder, specifically Bernese Mountain Dogs for them?
I'd say the biggest thing is just making sure the puppies are well taken care of. They're in a family setting with a reputable breeder. That's kind of the most important thing.
So you say family setting. Why is that most important for especially a Bernese person that loves Bernese?
Socialization. If socialization isn't done properly, you'll get a shy, very aloof dog. Whereas if it's done properly, they're very happy, content, chill, they're very Velcro, love their people. It's just a complete different dog, honestly. So
very good.
Yeah.
And guys, this is just a conversation, just so you guys know. I want this to be as real as possible. Talking to Jay, just what we're saying in these we're going to do weekly videos, hopefully, of this, a good conversation about different topics with our dogs here. So I want it to be as true and real. It's not pre-scripted. The topic might be, but other than that, we're just here to help and provide our genuine, informative information that can help you guys out there. So just wanted to make sure you're clear. And first thing he said was, a family dog coming from a good, reputable person, somebody that can trust pretty much. Trust. You're saying trust, at the high level, it's probably trust. That's somebody that can trust, would you say?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yep. There's so many other things we can talk about, the dogs and, health and pedigree, all that good stuff, but still the number one you feel is trust.
100%, yeah.
Yep, somebody that can relate to, not just, you want to build a relationship with them, I'm sure, and all that good stuff, so. Yep, and we have Zander and Zuri's pups with us here, correct?
Yeah. Wonderful bunch. These guys are fun to be around. It's been amazing. Honestly, very similar to if you saw the last video. If not, I'll have a link below. But if you saw that last video of us sitting here just kind of talking about our pups and kind of going through kind of a conversational thing, informative thing. We had Lexi, Joy, and Simba's pups.
Yep,
and these guys are extremely similar, like from a conformation standpoint, from a temperament standpoint, from a socialization standpoint. These guys are it's a very similar batch.
Look at Bailey. She's just chilling out back there. You can tell she's comfortable. Just an awesome dog. And she's the only one available, I think you said, right?
Yeah.
At the time of this video, she might be sold in the next 10 minutes, but
yeah.
Yeah, we had how many pups in this litter?
6 pups.
6 pups, 5 are adopted, and they're how old?
They're 7.5 weeks old.
7.5 weeks old, so it's always amazing. We can find homes before they're even ready to go home. So, okay.
And one thing I've really noticed about this bunch is they're right in that spot where we need them to be weight-wise and size-wise.
Yep.
So right now, Bear, you got Bear. And he weighs right around 16 pounds.
16.
And so, at 7.5 weeks old, weighing 16, 17 pounds, he's close to 17.
That is insane.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
And they put on about 5 pounds a week. So I guess he'll be just a little bit over 20 pounds when he goes home. So
So we probably can't get a flight nanny set up for these, or we'll be pushing it.
Fanny's got her things, so she can still sometimes squeeze them in, but it's
normally a 20-pound limit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which kind of brings me to another point. Talk about, again, the topic is finding the right Bernese Mountain Dog breeder for you. Talk about location. What do people have questions about, or how does that impact you finding a home for a puppy, depending if they're close by or 1,000 miles away? What do you think that determines with finding the right breeder?
Yeah, I honestly feel like most people don't mind the distance if the transportation portion is handled correctly.
Yep.
It's all about finding the right person, a person they can trust. So someone from LA might quite possibly come out and might even fly out to Cleveland, drive down here just to meet the puppies, meet the parents, just because of the relationship that's been established. And obviously, if someone's paying this much money for a puppy, they're gonna want to see everything, make sure everything's good, which is great. That's, you know, that's the goal. So we want to be able to do that as well.
So you're saying probably travel isn't as much of an issue as it maybe used to be in the past, or if you find the right person, that people will, you know, it's not that big a deal if they have to get it flown in or driven in.
Yeah, it's really not a big deal to most people if they feel like it's the right fit, for sure. Yep.
And I would say that on that too, though, if you are the type of person that has to be in person, then that's fine. Then, you know, whether it's us or somebody else, if we're too far away and that's just not going to work, that's totally fine. If that's your, you know, your personal opinion too. Like, it's got to be right for you, you know. So
I personally prefer it. Like, if someone for litter picks, like for these guys, I know the first pick, I mean, they came out. They didn't have to. We did the YouTube video. We, you know, with personalities and everything, like I honestly prefer having families come out to make that decision in person, because it is a big decision. But unfortunately, it's not, you know, possible for
Bailey. You want to be held
for some people. So, but yeah, it's amazing the amount of people that have been like just like from LA that I haven't met in person. I would have loved to, but unfortunately, I don't get to meet them, and just the travel time and everything that's kind of been put in sometimes is kind of crazy. So
some of these have a Swiss kiss. That one has a Swiss kiss on them, right?
Just a little bit.
Did you say somebody was looking for a Swiss kiss the other day?
Yeah, I did. I had a family reach out asking if there's any males available.
Oh, they were looking for a male?
Yeah, any males available for with a Swiss kiss, and right now, unfortunately, no. But
so you're saying it's not always about the breeder. They people want based on looks. As long as it's the dog that they look at is exactly what they want. Maybe the breeder doesn't matter.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
No, I'm not saying that's true or not, but
yeah. No, it's, I mean, looks go a long way, obviously. But the breeder behind it makes a huge difference as well, for sure.
So what would you say then about if somebody finds a good breeder that they like, they're, you know, might have to travel to and meet, or the puppy might have to travel to their home. What about, how do you can you confirm that, you know, it's not a scam, or for sure it is somebody that they can trust? Like, what are red flags, or what are things that you would recommend people to look at to make sure that it's, you know, a legit company and all that good stuff? So
yeah, I mean, one thing, I've had so many families, like, I get it all the time, like, hey, I'm looking for a puppy. I just got scammed. I need to make sure this is legit. One thing I always say, let's do a FaceTime. That's one thing to always request. I don't care. I mean, people can pull videos off of social media of specific puppies. They can pull pictures, but you can't fake a FaceTime. And I mean, texting's great. Texting is wonderful, but at one point or another, you're gonna have to hop on at least a phone call, if not a FaceTime, to kind of make sure it's legitimate.
What else besides a FaceTime? What if that's just not somebody's style? They don't want to see somebody in person, because a lot of people don't do FaceTimes, let's just be honest, you know. What other things can you look at?
Yeah, I mean, there's Google reviews. There's social media.
What about social media?
I mean, if it's consistent, if there's always new content flowing in, if there's always the same person in those videos consistently. That makes a huge difference.
Let's stop right there. I mean, if you have people, you have a lot of accounts don't even have people in their videos.
It's just a puppy running
It's just
along.
puppies, you know. If you can see somebody that has, like, that's a big telltale sign right there.
And I've had families reach out to me being like, hey, I know you guys are legit. This page is sharing your content. I see your face in it. And like, I see that all the time. And that's the difference that it makes. If my face wouldn't have been in it, it would have never came to the conclusion.
Now, not everybody's going to have social media like we do, guys. That's, you know, I'm not bashing them, but so you're not going to find a breeder that always has that, for sure. Most breeders, all breeders should be able to do a FaceTime. That's for, I mean, if somebody requests a FaceTime and you tell them no, then, you know, obviously they're not going to sell a puppy or find a home for that puppy. So I agree. FaceTimes is the #1 thing, and then social media presence is right there behind it. Talk about the money transfer, because I think that would be another thing for people that might like find the right breeder for them. Like, you know, how does the money transfer work and stuff like that? Like, yeah.
Yeah. Most times for most breeders, it's a matter of placing a deposit. Most times it's either from 50% down. For us, it's 200, which is a small portion. It's actually smaller than most people. Yep. But you shouldn't be requested more money throughout the process. It should be a deposit, and then when you see the puppy or when you get to meet the puppy, you can pay the rest. And that's just, I mean, that's kind of the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's so many ways to look at it. I feel like you should be able to make that final payment when you actually get to meet the puppy. I've heard time and time again, like, I just got scammed. They keep reaching out. They want more and more money for transportation or for, you know, just to hold the puppy or just different steps of the process. And it's, I mean, it should be kind of a deposit and the final payment. It shouldn't be a continuous payment thing. So
I totally agree. Flights can be a little bit tricky with that. Like, again, we have to trust the person too, you know.
Exactly.
You know, we have our transportation that people we trust that they know they can hand it off to, no problem. But flights, you know, might be the only,
Yeah. Well, one thing, like with Fanny, for example,
Fanny,
like, I mean, she's booking the flight. She's
Yep.
driving to the airport, which is an hour and a half away. She's flying out. She's spending all day on a plane, or like she flies back right away. So if she, for some reason, flies to an airport and the family adopting a puppy doesn't show up, I mean, that's anywhere from $600 to $1,200 out the door.
Yep, that totally makes sense.
So people are paying for the flight beforehand for sure.
Yep.
That's just part of it. So
very good.
And like a cargo flight, obviously we can't control when the puppy's picked up. Like we can't release the puppy or not release the puppy if it's not paid for.
Yep.
So we collect payment before that. Yeah. Yep. Which cargo flights are far and few.
Yeah, we don't do too many of those anymore. Which they still are fine, but
yeah.
I think one of our last topic or parts of the topic is let's go meet the adults and talk about what you're looking for in the adults and why the adults play a big impact of choosing the right breeder for them. So let's go do that, and we'll have the puppies go back to their parents as well. Hopefully we can get Zander and Zuri out and show you guys some adults and talk about it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, we have the puppies that you just saw. We have Zander here. This big, beautiful boy. I think he's only just over a year. I'm not even close to there. Icon's shown up too to the party. And then we have Zuri here as well.
Yep.
Hey, buddy.
We got some Icon's pups right here. We got a full porch right now, so.
You guys coming to the party to hang out too? Yeah. Good boy, Icon. We're gonna have to move outside. There ain't a big enough porch for you guys.
Yeah. Icon takes up half of the porch.
But again, this is why is this important, guys? Or Jay, why is this important?
I mean,
what's important about the dogs?
These dogs are 100% taken care of.
Yep.
Very social, very people-oriented. I mean, they're wonderful dogs, and they're trained. They went through the CGC program. It's a phenomenal thing to see, and probably most breeders couldn't do this.
Yep. Icon, can you sit? He is so big.
He is huge. He's like a bathtub.
And again, both Zuri and Zander, they're about the same age. They're a bit younger. They've still got plenty more time to fill out. Zuri shedding a little bit right now, so you don't quite see the nice mane. It is summertime here.
Yep.
So, but she is beautiful, and when she has her beautiful long coat. Yeah, let's go ahead and walk down, show them off here a little bit.
Come here, Zuri. Are we ready? Come here.
Icon.
Yeah, good girl, Zuri. Good girl.
So besides, having your adults trained, socialized, another thing probably would be just paperwork. I think that's one thing to look at. Not to help people understand, that they're a trustworthy breeder. And we're very, what would you call it? Transparent. We have all of our documents on our website. If if a customer would call and ask for a document, I think that would be a good question to ask. Do you have the documentations of the adults?
And by the way, guys, just because a dog's AKC doesn't really mean much.
Yeah.
All of our Bernese are AKC, but that doesn't, I mean, that's just a certificate saying they're purebreds.
Yep.
Icon. But it doesn't really, I mean, it's not like, and we can go on a quick walk here, but
come Sam.
OFA testing, genetic testing, bloodline history, heritage, all of that, I mean, it comes into play and it makes a big difference. So you can, most times you have to ask for it. I mean, for us, we just have it out there just to kind of eliminate that question.
Yep.
But I mean, most times you can ask for it, and if they're legit, they'll have all that paperwork in hand. So, yeah.
But along with other, you know, like some people want smaller dogs, some people want bigger dogs. For the most part, they're going to want big dogs. But I think that's a good question. Choosing the right breeder is the size of dog that you want. You know, if you're used to having a big dog, you're not going to choose a breeder that all they have are just little, you know, 80, 90-pound dogs. Like, that's important to choosing the right breeder, right?
Yep. And if someone doesn't have history, I mean, it might be a first-time combination, but if there's a 3-year-old parent, they should know about what to expect.
Yeah, I mean, just take the weight of your parents and you'll get a good idea.
Yep.
So,
but yeah, I mean, this is a phenomenal combination. I mean, those pups they're really something else. And I mean, like Zuri here, the only thing she's missing is her OFA testing, and it's literally because she's not old enough yet.
Yep.
But like, he's a 5-diamond dog, she's a 4-diamond dog.
Yep.
She's, according to her generations, her parents, her bloodlines, she should be passing with flying colors. It's just a matter of doing it, and it'll happen before her next litter. So, yep.
So I think the last question, guys, for this topic today is, so how, okay, we give a lot of information on what to look for. How do you find them? How do you find a breeder you can trust, a breeder that has beautiful adult dogs, a breeder that isn't a scam, all the things that we mentioned? How do you find those people? Where do you go? How do you, how do you find?
Well, reference is always a great thing.
Yep.
If you see someone on the street with a Bernese, ask them where they got it from.
That's a good way.
And ask them how it went. Another way to look at it is just simply putting in time and effort in really researching, making sure everything makes sense. Just in general, that's kind of what it comes down to, is investing time into a very important decision.
Yeah.
So.
He is a smart dog. I mean, once I stop, he just sits. Yeah. He looks up to you and just wants your attention. He is super smart.
I love his head. His head's
nice
one of my favorite. Just his head set, ear set, and everything. It's phenomenal.
But the easiest thing is going on Google, obviously typing in Bernese Mountain Dog Breeder, you know, top Bernese Mountain Dog. That's a simple, easy way to start. Social media, you can search on all your socials for them too, but it can, for somebody that's never looked, I'm sure it can be exhausting. You know,
absolutely.
Like you look and you call and you don't hear back, and you know, it can be a process, I'm sure. So just don't rush into it. I mean, if you find the right person, and you don't want to miss out on a puppy, you know, but if everything doesn't, you know, click right away, I'm sure just take your time, you know. And you get a lot of people also too, like, doing it in advance. They're not just looking for a puppy right there. A lot of people will place deposits way ahead. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
So maybe a good answer would be to, you know,
look ahead.
Look ahead. Yeah. That way you have the time and you don't got to make a rush decision.
It makes a huge difference for someone to plan ahead. You can really select parents. You can be picky on that. You can, you know, maybe get the first pick out of a litter. Whereas if you're going very short notice, you'll probably be like 4th, 5th, 6th option, which is great if it's the right puppy. Most times, it's very hard to go wrong. Obviously,
absolutely,
they're phenomenal pups,
especially for a litter like this.
Yeah. But it's always great to plan ahead and be out in front, kind of ahead of the 8 ball. So
yes, sir.
Yeah. But, yeah, that'll kind of wrap things up for today. If anyone has any questions, of course, you guys know where to find me. We're located just outside of Berlin, Ohio. You can find us on YouTube here. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, our website, and you can call my personal number. I mean, you can just shoot me a text, shoot me a call anytime. My number is 330-234-0102. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hopefully it'll bring some light to your search and make it a little bit easier to pick out the right person, the right family. And sounds exciting. I'm sure you guys are excited. So get to it and do your research, and feel free to reach out anytime.